What is going on, music people? My name is Jeff. Welcome to Ignite Music Project. And today I want to talk to you about one of the biggest hurdles and challenges that get in the way of us writing and recording amazing music. And to help you get past that, I want to share with you 5 ways to beat musical writer's block and get out of a creative rut. Let's go. Let's just address the giant elephant in the room, and that is that writing music can be hard. It can also be a lot of fun. It can be a great outlet, but it can also be really hard at times. There is nothing worse than feeling like you are stuck and that you can't move forward when you're writing a song. Don't worry, if this has ever happened to you, you are not alone. I've been there so many times I can't even begin to count. But it happens. You can't think of anything. It's just gone. All of your creative energy and your creative juices and your great ideas that you've had leave, and you cannot put them together. You can't think of the right lyrics. You can't think of the right melody. You can't think of the right arrangement. It happens. But don't worry. I've been making music for over 15 years, and there's some simple, easy to do things that have helped me. And so I want to share them with you. And hopefully they can inspire you. They can give you some ideas to get your creative juices flowing. So let's get started. Number 1, listen to more music. This one sounds so simple, you probably didn't even think of it. If you feel like you can't think of what to do musically, take a break, go grab your favorite album by your favorite artist, put on a pair of really good headphones or sit in front of a really good pair of speakers and just listen. And I don't mean just casually listen for fun. I mean really listen. Pay attention to the nuances. Pay attention to the arrangement. Pay attention to the orchestration, the instrumentation. Pay attention to the lyrics. Pay attention to the melody. Find out what it is about it that you really love. And as you do that, it might spur on some new ideas in you. It might inspire you and put an idea in your head that will solve your musical problem. And if you want to take that a step further, don't just stop at your favorite artist or your favorite genre. Expand and listen to some genres that you may not normally choose to listen to. You would be surprised how much inspiration you can garner from listening to new music that you've never listened to before. Number 2, change your surroundings. If you're like me, you have a music space. You've got a studio or a rehearsal room or something, a place where you always go to write and work on your music. Now, sometimes this can be great because it means that you have a dedicated place to do it and you can easily set aside time and you've got a place where you can go. But sometimes that can become stale and it can become uninspiring. So if you're feeling stuck, try standing up and moving away from that space. Go for a walk, go to the park, go to a busy street, go to the mall, go somewhere where that you can see and smell and hear new things. It's really amazing what your brain will come up with or think of when you give it new or unique stimuli. It can get those creative juices flowing, and it's really easy to do. Number 3, and this one might sound a little counterintuitive, but I found that it is really powerful for me. And that is setting boundaries and or limitations. What? You might be thinking. Well, let me explain. There might be some of you out there that find inspiration in using new tools. In the music production process, maybe it's a new plugin. Maybe it's a new virtual instrument. Maybe a new sample library, something new that you haven't used before. Sometimes that can provide inspiration. It can provide new thoughts and ways of thinking, and that's totally cool. That's helped me in the past. But sometimes I actually find that going the opposite direction has helped. Pare things way down, simplify things, and set certain boundaries or limitations for myself. And in that mode or in that vein, it spurs and brings on new creativity to solve a problem or to think of something that I never would have considered. Sometimes I like to challenge myself in the songwriting process to write songs in new or different styles than I've ever written before. And if I set that boundary and say, okay, you need to write a song, but it has to be in this style, sometimes that's when my creativity really comes forward. It's really pretty cool. And sometimes I do that in the music production process too, where I say to myself that I will only use stock plugins. I won't rely on my go-to compressors or my go-to reverbs or something like that. I'll just use the tools that are there. And sometimes it gets your mind working in a unique way or a different way that brings out something new that you never thought of. So give it a try. Set some boundaries or set some limitations and see if you can thrive or come up with new ideas that you never would have thought of before. Number 4, change your process. Everybody writes songs differently. Some people start with lyrics. They really like to write poetry and they think about the words and how they fit together that way. And then after they've written, then they start to add a melody. Then maybe they would put a chord progression underneath that. Other people might start with a chord progression, right? Start with their chord progression and then build a melody and harmony on top of that. Some people just start with a melody idea and then write the song around that. The point is that everybody's different, and you probably have a way that you are more comfortable with writing, a go-to process. Try changing things up. If you've never started with a melody before, do it. Try it. See what happens. Start by writing a melody and see if that brings on a more unique and a more creative melody that you wouldn't have thought of otherwise. And number 5 is kind of along those same lines, and that is use a different instrument. As part of your process, you might have a primary instrument that you always write your music from. For me, it's guitar. I primarily write with acoustic guitar. But sometimes it can feel a lot the same. Sometimes you can feel stale. Sometimes it feels stale or it feels uninspired, right? You pick up the guitar, and when you're starting to write a song, you always play the same chords. You always play the same riffs. You always play the same rhythms. It comes, that's what's natural to you, right? And you kind of go to your go-to, but it traps you sometimes and it puts you in a box. Try instead writing primarily on an instrument that you don't normally do. So for me, that would be piano. Start with the piano. Write a chord progression or write a melody and use the piano as your main instrument. You'll find yourself putting new ideas down or putting new things in place that you don't normally do. I would say that probably one of the best songs I've ever written, I actually wrote on piano. So those are 5 simple ways that you can get out of a creative rut and you can overcome or beat writer's block. That's worked for me. So give them a try. And I would actually love to hear from you guys and gals. What do you do when you find yourself stuck in writing a song? How do you overcome writer's block? I would love to get those ideas, and I'd love for you to share them in the comment section below and help other members of this community. Maybe they've already tried these things I've suggested, but maybe you have an idea that can help them. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. And if you found this video helpful, give it a like and share it with a music friend. Bring them on board. I'd love to have them join this community, and I would love to help as many people as I can make great music. That's all for today, guys. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Until next time, see ya.